Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Velocity in Santa Clara. I'm here with Alois Reitbauer. Alois, how you doing?
Great, thanks Mike. How are you?
Good, good. So you and I have talked at Velocity probably for 4 or 5 years, off and on, and we've interviewed a few times. So can you take me on a journey where Velocity was 5 years ago and where it is now? Because I think you've been to all of them.
Most of them. I think only the first year, that's the one I haven't been to. Yeah, I think the whole space has had a very interesting journey. I think like 4 or 5 years ago, it was like a bunch of people that were interested in performance, web performance and operations. DevOps movement came along.
Culture became big.
The whole topic about web performance kept growing, becoming more mainstream. We now have standards with the W3C, and you see a lot of also new players in the market showing up there. And I think performance has become, it used to be a bit like a stepchild in a lot of organizations, and there wasn't probably that much perceived innovation operations. I think all of this has changed, and there's now really a lot of momentum in that market, which is great and really exciting to see.
So one of the themes that I'm hearing here, and I'm curious if you're hearing this, is, you know, the Velocity space has been, like you mentioned, the DevOps culture and the performance culture and all that. But this year it seems to have, I don't want to say jumped the shark, but it seems to have gone to where it's mainstream, making a difference for business. And are you seeing that, the impact and the business decisions being made around the tools and the stuff in this space?
Yeah, I think it has always been somehow about business. It's, I think, just that we as the performance and operations people over the years have learned better and better how to talk to business. So we have realized that talking to them about response times and those things doesn't necessarily reflect too well with them. But everybody these days knows that your page load times reflect your Google search ranks. There's a lot of reports where people realize that, if your site's slower, your conversions go down. So there's been a lot of education in that market. And overall, it was always clear if your applications are not working properly, your business is impacted because you're doing business online, you're doing business mobile, and so forth. It's just that awareness that came more and more to companies, because just a lot of companies have been impacted at least once. And so they see now more and more that, okay, this is part of our business because our business is digital. We're using technology to make business, and that's why the business is now more aware of what technology is doing for them. So it was not just the email system that people inside the company used for communication. No, at the core of the business is now IT. I think that's excellent. One of those changes.
Excellent. So that's come a ways. How is ruxit? You've evolved now for 2.5 years, 3 years, 1 year? How old are you? And
so how old we are? So we are about 2.5 years old. That's when we started working on ruxit, but we released last year at Velocity, pretty much 6 months ago. With exactly the intention to build monitoring systems for like this new type of operations. Like one part of our vision is, so how can you monitor web scale, large scale environments with less than one full-time resource? Not that you want to get rid of all the operations people, but these are highly gifted engineers, and you want them to actually help improve systems, make them better, work on resilience, and not work at monitoring data. And we've seen a great uptake on this. So over these last 6 months, we're now over 100 customers, which is actually
in 6 months' time.
That's great growth.
So where would you like to be 6 months from now? Let's say we talk again in Europe in is that 6 months or 5 months from now, something like that?
In 6 months or 6 months from now, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're still a young player in the market in here, but I think at the current growth that we have, we might be easily at 300, 400 customers easily.
Okay. And so what is it that you think ruxit does better than other companies that are in the same space?
I think the key difference is how we look at monitoring. So we have really gone away from this approach of let's look at data, let's better show data, to not show data anymore. Let's put more and more analysis on top of it. Obviously, anomaly detection right now is a big topic.
Yeah.
But we've really taken it to the point, how can you build an augmented monitoring solution? A monitoring solution is like a virtual team members it puts you to the right spot, and it helps you working on those problems. And like that's the whole approach we have. Like with a very simple installation, we figure it out everything for you. We try to not kind of throw thousands of charts at you, but provide one concise infographic. And also the whole artificial intelligence reasoning we built on top that do steps that humans usually do, not the creative work, but the repetitive work that people are doing over and over.
Right.
It just takes longer the bigger your systems get. That's where we really see the difference in what Ruxit's doing. And one of the validation is we have one customer, and he told us usually they had their knock screens.
Yep.
And they were constantly looking at their knock screens. And since they started using us, they're going more and away from looking at those screens and really waiting for the monitoring tool to notify them when something's actually really going wrong. I think that's where the industry is going. Like that we have really, the monitoring tool that's like a virtual team members. And yeah, I think we're pretty much ahead of the curve here. I think that's why we're successful.
Excellent. So how have you been finding the conversations? Because you've been at Velocity for a while, except for one. And how are you finding the conversations in the evolution of Velocity? Are the engineers the same good hardcore tribe still coming here? Who do you see as the conversation?
Yeah, I think it's still the hardcore engineers coming here as well. I haven't been to that many talks yet, but what I've seen, the conversation still shifted a bit. Obviously, the culture track was something that was coming along over the last years. So it's not just technology; it's also that there's people involved in the whole
and how to work together, and
which is great.
Yeah.
I also like the more use cases that you see coming along. Like so there was a presentation from Etsy about alerting, which was very interesting. Which was like a real-world use case. So you also see this evolution of the conference. In the beginning, it's very much about ideas, what you can do, and then it's like quick wins that people did, and then it moves more and more into use cases. This is how we did it, sharing knowledge. So I think that you see that evolution also with the conference. But I think it still has both aspects. But I definitely see more use cases and very deep technical sessions
more practical
than you used to see in the past.
There's more less theory and more practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, excellent. Alois, we look forward to talking to you again in New York or
most likely New York, yeah.
Amsterdam or
will be most likely even both.
Okay. All right. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.